For an insight into the problem with our current working environments, let's talk about the workflow of computers now. I'm going to claim it actually goes tool, context, work. And by this I mean, we pick a tool that we want to use to get the job done. And then we have to get to the context for actually doing the work. And then actually maybe we can get some work done here. To make this more concrete, let's think about using a project manager, maybe like Asana, Monday.com, or Trello. Really any kind of Kanban board type application that you're familiar with. Interestingly enough here, we actually have to go to our browser first. And this is actually part of the problem in the sense that we've added an entire additional layer of tooling with our SaaS apps. Anyway, yes, let's go to our browser. We bring up a project board, then we have to go to the right project board within that. Then we have to go to the right list on the right card, flip over the card, look at the list to see what I'm supposed to work on next. And then, oh yeah, wait a minute, I can't actually do any work here. We don't actually do real work inside of project management tools. This is kind of like meta work at its best. So maybe the action item on the list tells us to go work on some document. But then the question is, where is this document? Did I do this in Google Docs or was it in Microsoft Word? And then we go to another tool. Maybe it's like email or Slack. Go to the right channel or the right folder. And then we bounce around through all this context to find the right thread or message. And then, yep, there it is. But we can't still do any work here in the email client or Slack. So now we can go back to another browser window, go to the right place in the document, and then actually maybe start doing some real work. If I can even remember what I was supposed to be doing then. I'll claim that's actually the way computers work now. If you think about this and look at these contexts here, all of the different integrations we have in our existing tools are really trying to connect these contexts together. But in many ways, these integrations are actually making it worse. We're having more copies of more things repeated in more places with more notifications and more feeds, or yet another inbox type thing to check. So a key observation in Reframe is realizing that we actually need to change this workflow. That is making a new type of environment that facilitates a much more efficient workflow, even with our existing tools that we already use. That is one of the key tasks at hand for Reframe and something we're specifically working to address. So what is the desired workflow here? Well, we think the desired workflow is actually exactly the opposite order. Instead of tool, context, work, it's work, context, tool. This is the way our brains really work. We start from what is the work I'm trying to get done? Where was I in the context of what I was trying to do? And now knowing these two things, I want to apply a tool to start working on this and be able to easily switch between these tools to get that job done. Flipping the workflow so that the work and the context comes to the tools automatically. This is what Reframe is about. When we talk about flipping the workflow, to be clear here, we don't see this as like a fault of the applications. This is really a failure of the browsers and the operating system itself. What is really interesting to note about this is that the workflow within the applications is already flipped. It's right-click or like a long press in mobile. And by this I mean, for example, if we're in a particular productivity tool, say like Microsoft Word, if we go to a particular paragraph that we're working on, or maybe like a table or a cell in the table, and right-click on that cell, there's a list of the tools we can use to manipulate the digital paper. The problem though is that right-click only works within the applications at like the digital paper level, not even across the applications. The context doesn't carry. But if it did, at least figuratively speaking, we would effectively flip things around into a dramatically better workflow, even with our existing applications. And so that's one of the things on our list of the key insights driving our thinking, reframing the workflow, if you will. This is what Reframe is all about. Thank you for your time. As always, feel free to reach out to me anytime or anybody else on the team. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.